Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start chapter 589 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Boom. A thunderous explosion echoed across the sky. The entire Grand Canyon shook violently, like a magnitude 9 earthquake had struck. The earth trembled. Mountains swayed. In the heart of the mysterious canyon, a blinding beam of golden light erupted, 200 meters wide, blasting into the sky with terrifying energy. A strange, deep space gate opened with a roar. It's open. The Stargate is really open. Alex stared in disbelief. Even Edward was trembling with excitement. No good. The nuclear energy output is unstable. The Stargate won't stay open for long. It's already starting to destabilize. Alex, Edward said urgently. I'll leave the Skull Society in your hands for now. I've memorized Earth's spatial coordinates. I'll be back soon. When I return, I'll take you to a higher plane of existence. We'll have eternal life and supreme power. Wait for me. Next time, I return as the ruler of this world. Wearing his mask, Edward's figure shot into the dimensional gate like a bolt of lightning. The space tunnel collapsed less than a minute later. The countless gold-crafted energy conduits melted into pools of liquid gold. 200 years of construction, gone in an instant. The next morning, Global Times reported that a powerful magnitude 9 earthquake had struck the Grand Canyon in the United States. Thousands were dead. Tens of thousands of buildings had collapsed. The economic losses were staggering. The only small comfort was that the surrounding area was sparsely populated. If it had happened near a major city, the consequences would have been catastrophic. Yinjing. In the laboratory, Chen Yuan had been buried in research these past few days. And the more he studied, the more he realized. Humans were vastly different from every other creature on Earth. The difference was clear, even at the genetic level. Take mammals, for example. Whether cats, dogs, monkeys, or apes, almost all had thick body hair. None of them wore clothes. Only humans needed to. Not just for modesty. No. The truth was that human genes couldn't adapt to Earth's harsh environment without help. Clothing was essential for regulating body temperature. But why could every other animal survive just fine in their environment, while humans had to rely on external tools? And why is it that there are no historical records of human civilization from more than 5,000 years ago? Can a species suddenly become so much smarter than all the others? Why are there gaps in our timeline? Darwin's theory of evolution had no solid proof. It was just a hypothesis. To this day, human origins remain a complete mystery. Chen Yuan couldn't help but wonder. What if humans weren't originally from Earth? What if humanity had always been an alien race who immigrated here long ago? What if those distant memories had simply faded over millennia? Maybe that's why we're so obsessed with interstellar travel. Because it's in our genes. Of course, it was just a wild theory. There was no real evidence. Still, he looked toward the ceiling and muttered, System, where did you really come from? Ding. Insufficient authority. System cannot answer. When will I have enough authority? Ding. When you've conquered 100 full-score simp targets, you'll unlock ultimate access. 100. It wasn't just about binding them. He had to completely reverse their fates? That was insanely hard. Forget it. I need a break. I've been cooped up in the lab for way too long. Around 9 p.m., Chen Yuan hailed a cab and headed to the Gondi Bar district in Yinjing. It was said that countless beautiful women gathered there every night, dressed in the trendiest, most seductive outfits. Some came hunting for sugar daddies, some for fun, and others were just part of the vibe team. They partied hard, drank harder, and wasted away their youth with abandon. On the surface, they looked radiant. But behind the glamour, many were just renting tiny basement rooms barely 10 square meters in size. Ask them what they did for a living, they'd vaguely reply, Oh, I'm just a Bei Piao, chasing my dream in Beijing, fighting for a future, refusing to settle. Meanwhile, Wei Xiling, recently admitted early into Yinjing University, was celebrating her freedom. The college entrance exams had just ended. Her class, grade 12, section 1, was having a graduation party. After enduring 3 years of academic hell, they were finally free. No more parental restrictions. They were officially adults now. The venue? The famous Club Mix. A buzzing hotspot in the Gondi district, known for its wild parties. It wasn't expensive either, around 500 to 600 yuan per person. There were 5 girls in their group, including Wei Xiling. In a nearby Lamborghini Aventador, the young man in the passenger seat, wearing sunglasses, was practically drooling. Bro Long. Damn, that's insane. Look at those 5 girls. 2 of them are absolute god-tier babes. Calm down, said Long, squinting at them. They look pretty young. Probably just graduated high school. Exactly. That's why it's perfect. Bro, if you're not gonna make a move, I will. I'm telling you, those faces? Pure natural beauty. Way better than the influencer you hooked up with last time. Come on, let's go check them out. The 2 rich kids jumped out of the car and strolled toward Club Mix. As they walked past the girls and sneaked a look, Long was stunned, absolutely frozen. None of the 5 girls were even remotely unattractive. 3 of them were average pretty, probably 7 out of 10. But the 2 standing in the middle? Breathtaking. One had porcelain skin, radiant like jade, soft red lips, and sparkling eyes. Her features were so delicate and charming. She looked like a fairy out of a dream, pure and ethereal. The other, utterly unworldly. She radiated a quiet, transcendent grace. With no makeup at all, she still stunned everyone in sight, like a goddess who had descended to earth, or a divine maiden from the 9th heaven. Just one look, and Long felt like no other woman in the world could ever enter his heart again. He was one of Yinjing's elite rich heirs. He'd seen countless beauties. He thought he was immune. But right now, even he was caught off guard, completely captivated. Chapter 1004, The Moment Approaches. Xiling, did you notice those 2 handsome guys just now? One of them totally looked back at me on purpose. Class President Yang Fomiying giggled like a fangirl. Handsome? Seriously? They look like those try-hard posers. Do you even know what handsome means? Wei Xiling replied, deadpan. I'm serious. I think they looked pretty good. And guess what? One of them was driving a Lamborghini. Yang Fomiying whispered excitedly into Xiling's ear. You noticed that too? Who cares what car they drive? Honestly, those 2 creeped me out with the way they were staring. Right? Duo. She turned to the girl on her right. Yeah, I thought they were gross too. Xianyuan Duo nodded calmly. Her eyes were cool and distant, like nothing in this world could truly interest her. Her surname, Qian, was extremely rare, and at school, she was quite the enigma. Despite her stunning looks, almost no one really knew her. She kept to herself, utterly low profile. No friends. Never attended school events. No makeup, no fancy clothes. Always wore the loose school uniform and a pair of thick black-rimmed glasses. Her grades? Not top of the class, but not at the bottom either. Always somewhere in the middle. She blended into the background, completely unnoticeable. But everything changed on the day of their school's graduation ceremony. That day, Xianyuan Duo took off her glasses, put on a beautiful dress, touched up her face with a light layer of makeup. And in that moment, she stunned the entire school. Even the school's heartthrob was struck with deep regret. 3 years of high school, and he never realized that such a goddess had been right under his nose. Everyone's eyes had always been fixed on Wei Xiling. No one had noticed that Class 1 had another beauty, someone who was every bit Xiling's equal. How blind could they have been? Tons of boys were kicking themselves. But that wasn't all. Just yesterday, when the college entrance exam results were released, the name Xianyuan Duo shattered everyone's expectations. She scored an unbelievable 745 points, topping the entire country. She was officially the national exam champion, accepted into Yinjing University. That day, her homeroom teacher pulled up her previous scores and was completely stunned. From grade 10 to 12, every subject, always middle of the pack. Never one extra correct answer. Never one extra mistake. It was as if she had calculated everything down to precision, just to hide her true abilities. This wasn't coincidence. She had deliberately chosen to stay hidden. 3 years of silence, only to soar into the sky with a single leap. And tonight, for the first time ever, Xianyuan Duo accepted a social invitation from her classmates. Even the school's heartthrob couldn't help but get excited. Duo, Xiling, over here. The moment they entered the bar, Wang Zifei, the school hunk, waved eagerly from across the room. He'd already secured a booth. Of course, this wasn't some huge class party. Only around 17 or 18 people were invited. One large private booth was enough. Wang Zifei's eyes were glued only to Wei Xiling and Xianyuan Duo, as if the other girls didn't even exist. Zifei, hey, you came out to party with your classmates too. Two young men, Yin Long and Nie Jianwei, approached casually. Long Ji, Hui Ji, you guys are here too. Wang Zifei greeted them warmly. Let me introduce everyone. This is my cousin, Yin Long. He's the heir to the Yin family here in the capital. Their assets are worth over 10 billion. Oh, and he's also received the Super Soldier Serum Enhancement. While hyping up his cousin, Zifei subtly boosted his own image too. After all, if his cousin's that powerful, his own background couldn't be that weak either. A classic case of bragging by association. Hey, don't overhype it, Yin Long smiled humbly. I'm just an ordinary entrepreneur. I didn't want to live off my parents forever, so I started my own company and built it up from scratch, step by step. Since you're all my cousin's classmates, tonight's drinks and food, all on me. He said it with a wide, generous gesture. At the same time, he subtly exposed the Patek Philippe limited edition watch on his wrist, worth 50 million. The younger girls, many of them new to the real world, immediately lit up. Girls tend to mature faster than boys. They know how to look ahead. 18-year-old girls rarely fall for boys their own age. Because those boys are usually broke, clueless about romance, and immature. Older guys, on the other hand, have money, know how to flirt, and are far more refined. It's an unfair comparison. Yin Longji, can I add you on WeChat? Yang Fengming asked sweetly. Sure thing, little sister. Go ahead and scan my code. Yin Long happily opened his WeChat QR code, letting each girl scan it. The guys, of course, were completely ignored. Of the 8 girls present, 6 added him right away. Only Wei Xiling and Xianyuan Duo didn't move. Even when he held his phone right up to them, they just sat there, refused, which made Yin Long incredibly annoyed. The 2 girls he was most interested in didn't even give him a glance, while the ones he didn't care about all rushed to add him. These shallow girls weren't even worth his time. He turned to Xiling, still trying to charm her. Hey there, little miss, why not add me? If you ever run into trouble, you can always call your brother Long. I'm good, Xiling replied calmly. I don't add players on WeChat. Yin Long forced a smile. Haha, I think you've misunderstood me. Once you get to know me better, you'll realize I'm really not that kind of guy. He put his phone away without making a fuss. There was still plenty of time tonight. His targets wouldn't escape. No need to push and make himself look like a creep. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. You all go ahead and have fun, he said with a charming smile, keeping his gentlemanly act intact. But the moment he turned the corner, Wheezy, he said coldly, go get a few guys and cause some trouble. Harass a few of the girls at my cousin's table. Also, talk to the bar owner. I want to make a little display tonight. Got it, bro. Nie Jianwei immediately understood. Rescue mission. Time to stage a heroic save. Show off his super soldier power. A perfect stage for the big show. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan had just arrived at the bar district in Gongti. He strolled casually for a bit, then picked a particularly lively club, and walked straight inside. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. Also, if you know other fans who were reading this manhwa but stopped because it got axed, share this video with them. The more support we get, the more motivation we'll have to keep making these videos. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.